CompTIA Security Plus SY0-701 Questions and Answers. Question 1. A system administrator wants to ensure that if a specific server fails, another identical server automatically takes over its workload without human intervention. What high availability concept does this describe? Option A, active-passive clustering. Option B, failover. Option C, load balancing. Option D, redundancy. The correct answer is option B. Failover. Failover is the automatic transfer of workload to a standby system when the primary system fails. Active-passive clustering is one architecture that enables failover, but the concept described is the takeover itself. Automatic replacement of a failed server's workload is failover. Question 2. An organization wants to prevent sensitive company information, such as credit card numbers or source code, from being emailed outside the corporate network. Which solution should be implemented? Option A, EDR. Option B, DLP. Option C, SIEM. Option D, MDM. The correct answer is option B. DLP. Data loss prevention monitors and blocks unauthorized movement of sensitive information such as credit card numbers or source code. EDR detects endpoint threats, and SIEM analyzes logs. Preventing sensitive data from leaving by email is a DLP function. Question 3. Which of the following terms describes a document signed by an employee agreeing not to disclose proprietary corporate information to outside entities? Option A, AUP, Acceptable Use Policy. Option B, NDA, Non-Disclosure Agreement. Option C, SLA, Service Level Agreement. Option D, MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. The correct answer is option B. NDA, Non-Disclosure Agreement. A non-disclosure agreement is a legal document in which a party agrees not to disclose confidential or proprietary information. An AUP governs acceptable system use, and an SLA defines service performance commitments. The disclosure restriction makes NDA correct. Question 4. Which of the following terms describes a vulnerability that is unknown to the software vendor and has no available patch? Option A, 0-day. Option B, false positive. Option C, common vulnerability, CVE. Option D, legacy flaw. The correct answer is option A. 0-day. A 0-day vulnerability is unknown to the vendor or lacks an available patch at the time it is discovered or exploited. A CVE is a public vulnerability identifier, not necessarily unpatched or unknown. False positives describe incorrect scan results, not vendor unknown flaws. Question 5. A company wants to minimize the risk of a single point of failure for its web services by distributing incoming traffic across multiple backend servers. What device should be deployed? Option A, proxy server. Option B, load balancer. Option C, next generation firewall, NGFW. Option D, content delivery network, CDN. The correct answer is option B. Load balancer. A load balancer distributes client requests across multiple backend servers, reducing overload and avoiding a single point of failure. A proxy server forwards traffic, but it does not necessarily balance workloads. Distributing traffic among servers is load balancing. Question 6. Which of the following physical security controls utilizes two doors where the first door must close completely before the second door can be opened? Option A, turnstile. Option B, man trap. Option C, guard post. Option D, revolving door. The correct answer is option B. Man trap. A man trap uses two interlocking doors, so one door must close before the next opens, controlling entry to a secure area. A turnstile controls pedestrian flow but does not require a two-door sequence. The two-door containment design is a man trap. Question 7. A security administrator wants to prevent an individual from performing critical financial transactions without approval from a supervisor. Which of the following principles applies? Option A, job rotation. Option B, mandatory vacation. Option C, separation of duties. Option D, least privilege. The correct answer is option C. Separation of duties. Separation of duties prevents one person from completing a sensitive process alone by dividing responsibilities among multiple individuals. Least privilege limits permissions, but it does not specifically require supervisory approval. Critical financial transactions often use separation of duties to reduce fraud risk. Question 8. A security team wants to evaluate how the loss of a critical business function due to a cyber attack would impact the organization's overall operational and financial health. What assessment should be performed? Option A, risk assessment. Option B, business impact analysis, BIA. Option C, vulnerability assessment. Option D, threat modeling. The correct answer is option B. Business impact analysis, BIA. A business impact analysis evaluates how disruption to critical business functions would affect operations, finances, and recovery priorities. A risk assessment evaluates threats and likelihood, while vulnerability assessment identifies weaknesses. Measuring business impact from function loss is BIA. Question 9. Which of the following hashing algorithms generates a 256-bit fixed-length output and is commonly used to verify file integrity? Option A, MD5. Option B, SHA-256. Option C, HMAC. Option D, AES-256. The correct answer is option B. SHA-256. SHA-256 produces a 256-bit hash value commonly used for integrity verification. MD5 is weaker and produces a shorter 128-bit hash, while AES-256 is encryption rather than hashing. HMAC is a keyed message authentication construction, not a standalone 256-bit hash algorithm in this option set. Question 10. Which of the following access control models restricts access based on data sensitivity labels and user clearance levels? Option A, role-based access control, RBAC. Option B, mandatory access control, MAC. Option C, discretionary access control, DAC. Option D, attribute-based access control, ABAC. The correct answer is option B. Mandatory access control, MAC. Mandatory access control uses centrally enforced labels and clearances to control access to sensitive data. RBAC depends on job roles, DAC lets owners decide permissions, and ABAC evaluates attributes and context. Sensitivity labels and clearance levels are classic MAC indicators. Question 11. A security incident occurs, and the digital forensics team needs to document everyone who has handled a piece of physical evidence from the time it was collected until it is presented in court. What is this documentation called? Option A, evidence log. Option B, incident report. Option C, chain of custody. Option D, legal hold. The correct answer is option C. Chain of custody. Chain of custody documents who handled evidence, when it was transferred, and how it was preserved from collection to court presentation. An evidence log may be part of this process, but chain of custody is the formal end-to-end record. Handling history for legal evidence is chain of custody. Question 12. A security audit reveals that a legacy application transmits user credentials across the local network in plain text. Which of the following protocols is most likely being used? Option A, HTTPS. Option B, SSH. Option C, HTTP. Option D, SFTP. The correct answer is option C. HTTP. HTTP transmits web traffic in plain text unless protected by TLS through HTTPS. SSH, HTTPS, and SFTP are encrypted protocols. Plain text credential transmission over a web connection most commonly indicates HTTP. Question 13. A security analyst finds that an application is allowing users to input raw HTML tags into a comment field, which are then executed by other users' browsers. What type of vulnerability is this? Option A, cross-site scripting, XSS. Option B, cross-site request forgery, CSRF. Option C, SQL injection. Option D, buffer overflow. The correct answer is option A. Cross-site scripting, XSS. Cross-site scripting occurs when untrusted scripts or HTML are accepted by an application and executed in another user's browser. SQL injection targets database queries, while CSRF abuses a trusted user's session to submit unwanted actions. Executed browser-side input points directly to XSS. Question 14. A security analyst detects that a server is sending large amounts of data to an external IP address outside of normal business hours. What type of activity does this represent? Option A, data exfiltration. Option B, data sanitization. Option C, data masking. Option D, data retention. The correct answer is option A. Data exfiltration. Data exfiltration is the unauthorized transfer of data from an internal system to an external destination. Data masking and sanitization protect or remove sensitive data, while retention governs how long data is kept. Large outbound transfers outside normal hours are a common exfiltration indicator. Question 15. A company requires two separate keys to decrypt highly sensitive backup files, ensuring that no single employee can access the data alone. Which of the following principles does this reflect? Option A, separation of duties. Option B, dual control. Option C, least privilege. Option D, mandatory rotation. The correct answer is option B. Dual control. Dual control requires two authorized people or keys to complete a sensitive action. Separation of duties divides responsibilities, but dual control specifically prevents one person from acting alone. Requiring two keys to decrypt backups is a direct example of dual control. Question 16. Which of the following mobile device deployment models allows employees to use their personal smartphones to access corporate email and networks, provided they install corporate security software? Option A, Kobo, corporate owned, business only. Option B, COPE, corporate owned, personally enabled. Option C, BYOD, bring your own device. Option D, CYOD, choose your own device. The correct answer is option C. BYOD, bring your own device. Bring your own device allows employees to use personally owned devices for work access under corporate security requirements. Kobo and COPE involve corporate-owned devices, while CYOD lets employees choose from approved company devices. Personal smartphones with corporate controls are BYOD. Question 17. Which of the following concepts involves hiding a secret message or file inside an ordinary, non-secret file, such as a digital image? Option A, obfuscation. Option B, tokenization. Option C, steganography. Option D, salting. The correct answer is option C. Steganography. Steganography hides the existence of data by embedding a secret message or file inside ordinary content such as an image. Obfuscation makes information harder to understand, and tokenization replaces sensitive values with tokens. Hidden messages inside cover files are steganography. Question 18. Which of the following wireless security standards introduces simultaneous authentication of equals, SAE, to replace the vulnerable WPA2 pre-shared key, PSK, exchange? Option A, WEP. Option B, WPA. Option C, WPA2. Option D, WPA3. The correct answer is option D. WPA3. WPA3 introduced simultaneous authentication of equals to improve password-based wireless authentication over WPA2 PSK. WEP and WPA are older and insecure, while WPA2 does not use SAE. The SAE clue identifies WPA3. Question 19. Which of the following terms describes the risk that remains after an organization has implemented all planned security controls and mitigations? Option A, inherent risk. Option B, transferred risk. Option C, residual risk. Option D, accepted risk. The correct answer is option C. Residual risk. Residual risk is the risk that remains after controls and mitigations have been implemented. Inherent risk exists before controls, and transferred risk is shifted to another party, such as through insurance. The remaining post-control exposure is residual risk. Question 20. Which of the following commands can be used on a Linux system to verify network connectivity to a remote host by sending ICMP echo request packets? Option A, IP protocol configuration. Option B, traceroute. Option C, ping. Option D, dig. The correct answer is option C, ping. The ping command sends ICMP echo request packets to test basic network reachability. Traceroute maps the path to a host, and dig queries DNS records. ICMP echo connectivity testing is performed with ping.